I'm Joseph Mills, and this is AutoMeter Garage. What's going on, guys? Joseph Mills here for AutoMeter Garage, Episode 3, Day 3 of Project Evo. Out, as always, Il Garage, Addison, Illinois, Chicagoland's finest. It's unseasonably warm in February, 75-degree day in Chicago in February. It's wild. Did not expect that. Because of that, we've got to start worrying about charge air temperatures. Thankfully, the good folks at AEM came through with this upgraded front mount intercooler kit. 3.5-inch bar and plate style core, welded cast end caps, and a spectacular hard pipe kit here. Now the advantages of that kit, the Evos are known to distort those intake tubes under boost. So having this hard pipe kit will not only give us improved response, better flow, they'll also sound a little bit cooler. Huge intercooler gives us way more charge air cooling than we're going to need for our initial power goals, but it'll definitely help us down the line when we upgrade the turbo and start getting into a little bit more extreme part of the building. So really excited to get this set up today for you. Also, since adding the Bilstein PSS-10 coilovers to the car, we were able to dial out a good amount of the chassis' inherent understeer, but it's still there a little bit. So while we're working on the vehicle today, we have this Eibach rear anti-roll bar for the vehicle that we're going to install. I was lucky enough to be out at the Eibach factory watching these get built. It is unbelievable the build quality and the attention to detail that goes into the construction of these anti-roll bars, literally converting raw materials into parts in front of your eyes. It was a cool deal. We're super excited. 2 adjustment points on here so we can dial in the handling characteristics of the vehicle a little more before we head out to Toge factory later on in the month to have the suspension calibrated and the vehicle corner balanced. So we're going to head back into the shop right now and start tearing apart the Evo. Before we get started, always a great habit, make sure you remove the negative battery terminal before doing any work on your vehicle. This Evo sat a little bit over the winter and unfortunately didn't really want to start this morning, so this gives us the perfect opportunity to upgrade to this Optima Red Top battery. Now the Optima Red Top is an absorbent glass matter AGM style battery that offers us superior cold cranking amps and vastly improved vibration resistance. For any vehicle like our Evo that's going to see time out on the track or any sort of harsh environment, the Optima is a solid upgrade to ensure that your vehicle always starts. Now both battery terminals are a 10mm. It's actually super easy to swap this one out, and then both of the tie downs are also a 10mm. Now because our Optima packs way more power into a smaller, lighter cell than the factory unit, it came with this cool little adapter piece to put on the bottom so we can easily and safely reuse the factory mounting. And here's our Optima Red Top, all buttoned up back in the trunk. All right, so we've got the Evo up in the air. We're going to start taking this rear anti-roll bar out. It's just a 14mm on the end link right here. Normally we like to hit these with an impact, but the CV axle is in the way to really get at it clean. So we're doing it the old-fashioned way. You got a Allen wrench and the 14. We're going to break these free. So thankfully we got a good amount of penetrating lube on here. That just slides right out, didn't even have to hammer it. And now we just do the same thing on the other side. All right, so with both end links removed, we're going to go ahead and remove the bushings. Eibach included nice urethane bushings. These are greasable and new fittings to go on with the new anti-roll bar. So just 2 12mm on each side here, and that'll drop those right down. So we got Brandon holding the other side here. Take this last 12mm out, and the whole bar is going to drop right down. So before we put the bar in, we're going to take this included urethane bushing and this included little toaster strudel packet of grease. We're just going to shoot a little grease in here and rub that around. Now it's also important after we grease this to make sure we grease the contact point on the end link as well. Now the bar gets threaded in, making sure to go above the AYC lines. Eibach included all new hardware with the kit. It's worth mentioning there were 12s that we took out. These are 13s that are going back in. So we're just going to thread that into the new bracket that was included. Now, thanks to our friend Mark at Eibach, we're going with his recommendation of putting the bar on its firmest setting in the rear. That is the inside most position of the 3 adjustments. Now the bolts to the body are torqued to 23 foot-pounds each, and the bolts to the end links will torque to 29 foot-pounds. To replace the intercooler, we need to start by removing the stock one. So we'll begin up top and remove all of this cladding. That'll start with these 2 Phillips head pieces on the factory intake snorkel. Now we've got 3 more clips that we'll use a flat head to get off. One right here, one right in the middle, and then one right here. With all the clips removed, we can remove the shroud. So we have a whole ton of clips to remove to get this belly pan off of the front of the vehicle. There's 6 10 mils we've got right up front that seem to come right off, and then 30, count them, 30 plastic clips. So after about 1.5 years of removing clips from the bottom of the vehicle, we got the last one, and the tray can drop down. So because it was a little bit of an endeavor to pull all of the underbody cladding off, we figured with it off, we might as well do an oil change. There's about 2,000 miles on this vehicle since its last one. So we got a little Eneos Sestina. This is a 0W50. This is exclusive to Eneos. It'll work on just about anything. Fantastic oil, definitely something to look for severe service. And of course, we're pairing that with the K&N Performance Gold oil filter. Now on both sides of the vehicle, we're going to remove 3 little Phillips head clips and a 10mm bolt from the front of the wheel well. So now there's 2 more 10mm bolts right on the lower front grille. You can see them right in there. We're going to go ahead and remove those. There's 5 10 mils on the front holding the bracket up top. Now on each side there's some little clips that secure the bumper to the fender. Just pull straight out and those come free. Now with both sides free, there's one little clip in here securing that we can get off with a flathead screwdriver. Now we just unplug the fog light harness and the whole bumper will come right off. Now we remove these 2 12 mils from the upper intercooler pipe coupling right here. All right, 2 10 mils, loosen these up so we can pull this off. Now we pull this upper charge pipe. There we go. Now we're going to take these little rubber bushings out because these are going to be reused later. Now we've got a 10 mil where the recirc pipe hits the lower charge pipe. All right, now we just pull these 2 10 mils off the lower intercooler pipe. We've got 2 12s in the bottom of the intercooler. Got a 12 right here for the lower intercooler pipe. One more 12 right here on the back of the pipe. Now we can remove the recirc pipe from the lower hose. Put that out of the way. We've got one last 12mm. It's a little easier to get to from the top. Now we've got a 10mm that we need to remove from where this lower pipe goes up to the throttle body. And with all that loosened up, we can pull our lower pipe free. Now the intercooler is just held on with basically some muffler brackets here. Take that down. And she comes free. All right, now we've got two 12 millimeters that we'll need to get free on the lower intercooler bracket, as these will need to be reused. And there's not a ton of room. We need to harvest this hanger off of the stock intercooler. It's just a 10 mil to break that free. We can gently slide it into the hangers. You're going to want to have a friend here to help so as not to damage your radiator putting it in. And those two bolts we saved from the lower bracket will go into the bracket that's already installed on the AEM intercooler. Now we reinstall those two 12 millimeter bolts. Now we threaded this pipe plug into the lower intercooler pipe. We took one of the bushings off of the stock piece and we're going to install that right there. Now we connect that lower intercooler tube to the stock tube going to the throttle body, and we tighten up the hose clamp with a 10 mil. Get that nice and snug there. Now we secure the 12 mil onto this bracket. So we take these two couplers that came with our kit and slide everything together. And if you look at the fit and finish, I mean, this just fits in here perfectly. You never see that with these kits. Really, really impressive. With all the couplers in place, we tighten up the new hose clamps that came with us. These are all 8 mils on this setup here. So we've reattached the recirc pipe here and actually set the hose clamp up so we can get at it quite easy with an extension and at 10 millimeters. It makes it a lot easier should we ever need to service it. And we're going to pull this last bit of soft piping off of the turbo here. It's at 10 millimeter, by the way. And now with that clamp loosened up, we just wiggle this soft pipe and it comes up off the turbo. So now we've got this elbow with our new couplers and reducer put on, and we're going to slide that onto the turbo. All right, remember those bushings we had you pull off of the stock pipes before? We've got those installed on the new pipe right there. We're going to line that in, drop a 12 millimeter, and thread that into the stock mounting location. All right, now we've got our hose clamps. Go back in right here to the intercooler. So we use the template AEM provided us to cut a little slot in the shroud. And we test fit that there. We see the pipe clears just fine. So we're going to put this down and put the bumper back on. With the bumper back in place, we just tighten up these 10s on the front here. Do not forget to plug in your fog lights if you want to continue to have functioning fog lights. All right, day 3, Project Evo in the books. AEM Intake Hard Pipe Kit, Eibach Rear Anti Roll Bar, Optima Battery. I think we got her nicely buttoned up, and I cannot wait to get out on the road and see how she runs. I don't know if you can hear that there through the mic, but the new hard pipes and the front mounts definitely add a little more whoosh to everything. You probably can't see the tack. We're under 3,000 RPMs and the vehicle's building usable boost. It's definitely on power much more quickly than it was with the stock flexi pipes. And that Eibach rear sway bar really keeping the back end planted there through the twisties. there, making boost about 2,700 RPMs. We're in the meat of the power band. It just comes on so much more quickly and deliberately. Really woke the car up. I cannot wait to see what this does when we start putting some real power through it.